Parents put their kids on school buses every morning, expecting that the bus drivers and the buses themselves are going to keep their children safe. Unfortunately, recent school bus accidents popping up around the state and the country are revealing how unsafe our children's school bus rides can really be. Here to talk about the importance of school bus safety is personal injury lawyer Paul DeMore. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, Elsa. It's been a while.
It has been a while, but I'm glad we're making up for it, especially on this important topic with school bus safety. Everyone's thinking about it now because the kids are back in school. Why did this pop on your radar?
Well, obviously, here we are back in the school season. But this past spring, the National Transportation Safety Board actually finally came out with a recommendation to all the states saying that school buses should now have seat belts, lap belts, and shoulder belts.
You know, I always wondered that. Even when I was a kid on the bus, I was like, why does it not have a seat belt?
Well, what you would find out from the industry and from various government entities that have studied the issue is school buses are designed actually to be safer than cars. The seats are padded and they're raised up. And the theory being that if there is an accident, that if the child was thrown forward, they would hit a soft seat. However, recent school bus accidents, as you mentioned in the open, have shown us that that may not necessarily always be the case. There was a bad accident in Tennessee recently. Yes. We had an accident in November of 2016 here in Baltimore. And I don't think that putting our children at unnecessary risk is such a good idea. Right. And obviously neither did the national board finally. Unfortunately, it's a recommendation. It's not a mandate. And so it's a state-by-state recommendation. And there are currently only 8 states that require their school buses to have lap and shoulder belts. And Maryland's not one of them right now.
With Maryland not being one of them right now, what are some of the things that people need to be aware of when it comes to school bus safety? Well,
I think we have a list of some things that we can put up that I think that parents should be aware of. The school bus companies, you may or may not know this, but most school districts are farming out their school bus drivers now. They're hiring private companies, and so we're at the mercy of what these companies do to screen their drivers. So you, as a parent, you want to make sure that whatever company is providing driving services for your kids has a proper training program to address distractions. Think about how distracting it must be to drive a school bus.
So, and when we're talking about distractions, we're talking about what? The kids on the bus or cell phones or
well, actually both now, right? Because now you have a driver who could possibly be using a cell phone.
Which has happened.
Sure. I mean, we all catch ourselves doing it, right? And you have the kids who are on the bus who could be doing anything, distracting the driver. So you want to make sure that the drivers are trained to keep the kids on the bus under control. And you as a parent want to make sure you tell your kids that that driver is responsible for their lives. So let's make sure we maintain a safe environment on the bus.
Right,
So you have a role to play. And again, following up on that, you want to make sure that the program trains their drivers to deal with outside distractions. That would be the kids on the bus and anything on the road. You want to make sure that there's a school bus safety code that the children learn. Okay, so in other words, you want there to be some discussion within the school system about how kids are supposed to act on the bus. Okay. Stay involved as a parent, like anything else with kids, right? We want the drivers to be trained to respond to bus chaos. And that last one I lost, unfortunately. You took the graphic down too soon.
That's okay. It'll come back up. I did want to ask you because I've saw...
the crash avoidance and seatbelts. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So crash avoidance technology we all have in our cars.
Yes.
We'd like to see it start getting adopted in the buses as well. But the seatbelts are the big thing
They
now.
really are. And we talk about parents staying involved. I know that one of the things that struck me with these headlines was that the kids were telling the parents, hey, you know, my bus driver speeds or my bus driver is driving recklessly, and the parents brought it up. Or if a parent is aware, who do they bring it up to? Who do they call? What do they do?
Well, you first should start with your contact point at the school, and you want to have a face-to-face meeting. Not email and phones, or you definitely want to get
detached.
Well, because you want to get somebody to make eye contact, you pay attention, take you seriously. Right. I think I've said it on this show before, 80% of our communication is nonverbal. Yes. So if you can see the concern in my face as a parent when I'm talking to you about whether my child feels safe on the bus or not, you may be more responsive to take action. And then they'll take it up with the right officials and get everyone together and on the same page, hopefully.
And the worst case scenario, if something happens to a child on a bus, what should a parent do then?
Well, obviously, depending on the severity of injury, the first thing you want to do, obviously, is make sure your child gets the proper medical care. I'm not here to tell anybody to do anything different.
Right.
But once the dust settles, and if you want to see whether there's anything you can do legally, contact an attorney who has some experience with handling these types of cases. They can. Going against boards of education and private bus companies is an animal in and of itself, and you want somebody who knows what they're doing.
And you actually have a blog on this on your website as well, right?
We do. The website is easy to find. It's needjustice.com. You can go to the blog section. We have articles about anything we talk about here on the show, and we go into more expansive information, and we'll link to different places where people can go to get more information.
It's such an invaluable resource because parents are thinking about this right now. So to be able to refer to that site, needjustice.com, and be able to revisit this information is very helpful. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.